They're killing it. Let's actually give a round of applause to Bob and Mark over here.
Yes.
That's like Freddie.
Bravo.
And to Claire Kramer, who I think is the unsung hero of the entire Roddenberry stage. Pay me more. No.
Let's have a seat,
Claire
shall we?
is wonderful.
Yes.
And everyone that makes this
The
happen
whole
is
room is
wonderful.
wonderful. Claire.
You're okay.
Alex, it's good morning. Hi. Good morning, everyone. Welcome. We hope that everybody got a little discounted breakfast with coffee. If you didn't get a ticket, go see that guy, Scott. Hey, there we go. See Scott.
Great,
Get a ticket. Get $1 off. You know what? Use them in combination. Get multiple dollars off.
Until 10:30, and those tickets resume being $1 off tomorrow at 9:30.
Yeah.
I'm much more palatable when you have food on your stomach. So
On your stomach?
yeah.
Okay.
In?
Sure.
Great, John.
Great.
It's too early. You're like, let's do a morning show. I'm like, me? No.
You see, here's my plan. Go buy a bunch of stuff and just, work on that the rest of the day. So you got $1 off, right?
Oh my
Thrifty
gosh.
Vegas tips by John.
I love
Yes.
We know you need them.
Yes, thank you.
Well,
Yeah.
folks, it's technically day 2.
It is technically day 2.
How many people
It
have
is
been here
actually day 2.
just today? Who just got in today? Who's your first? There's the first
Right
day
on. Welcome.
convention. Day 2. Who's day 2ers? Holy moly!
Yeah, there we go.
Who got to meet people in that line for registration though for the room? Hope you made some love connections, folks.
We all have stories about waiting in line to check in. I'm always curious, how many people here are attending their first Vegas STL? Whoa!
I'm so surprised.
Whoa! And you found us.
Oh,
That's great.
what are we, John?
What are we?
Okay, so we are Roddenberry.
Oh, I thought you meant existentially.
I do mean that also.
Okay,
But
all right.
today I identify as Roddenberry.
Yes.
We are different hosts, a host of different shows,
Yes.
part of the Roddenberry Entertainment Podcast Network.
Yes.
What's the show you host?
Well, I host a couple of them. If you go to podcast.roddenberry.com, you will find me on Mission Log. You will find me on Mission Log Live. My fabulous co-host sitting right there in the middle in front of me.
Can't miss him with
Mr.
a
Norman
Hawaiian shirt.
Occasionally host the Trek Files with Dr. Trek, not a real doctor, Larry Nemeczek. And I always have
You have to.
people might think that he is actually a doctor.
Who they call him a doctor though, because he delivered a baby on the floor.
Well, there was that one time,
He did deliver a baby on the floor at this convention,
in 2015.
literally.
Yeah.
So he's doctor by proxy. The baby's still alive.
Everybody go ask him about that because we just made it up.
No, what's true?
No,
No, it is true. Someone told me several texts about it last year. That's the guy who delivered a baby. I was like, today?
Jessica, it's
Is it not real?
so adorable. Do you would believe that?
Multiple people tweeted out. Please, this is part of your scavenger hunt, folks. Is to find the lady who delivered a baby.
Like, oh no, it's not Larry Nemeczek. It's not Dr. Trek.
Who was it?
But not him.
We'll talk about this later. I swear.
Somebody delivered a baby here.
Someone told me it was Larry.
I know about it. It's not Larry.
So,
I guarantee.
anyway,
Guaranteed.
moving right along.
Right.
Larry is the
So
reason I'm
you will find those shows. You will find
The Orb.
You will find the Orb. You know what? We're gonna have somebody out.
We'll talk about later.
Talk about later because it's that show that Seth made that is like that show that Gene made.
That we can't say many more things about because of the strikes.
Right, right. But you know what we're talking about, and you will find it at podcast.roddenberry.com.
Very
It's a
good.
whole slew of shows for you to find there, and we are on some of them.
Sure.
Yeah.
And the other thing, what's going on? Like, what are we doing as part of this? We have like,
Okay. So we get to do this, and we're gonna go through the schedule today, so all of you know. See, here's my favorite part. We do this for you. Thank you for coming. Thank you for
Well,
validating our existences, right?
Thank you.
But we're also streaming this. Hi. So people who are in their rooms, who were much lazier than you, they can get.
Applaud yourself, folks.
Yeah, because you made it. Yeah. They can get an idea of what's happening today. And then people who didn't come to the convention, they're also watching this, so they can know what they miss. So sorry, all of you who didn't take it.
See, it might be better for them to not be here.
It's a weird year, but that's all right. Before we get into what's happening today, I want to know about your day yesterday.
Goodness.
What happened after you did this?
Well, it's very uninteresting that I had to run to do an audition, so I missed a lot of those going on. But I did see pictures from Paul Marbeth in our Discord, so we have a Patreon where people can interact with us on Discord. So I got to see you basically working all day.
Yeah, I did a lot of things.
Did so many things. I stopped by the Star Trek wine table to see what they were doing. Some of you who got to taste the whiskey yesterday. You were like literally the only people on the planet that are going to taste that. They're only, I don't even get money for telling you this. They sell 100 bottles this convention and then
200 total.
And then a lottery for the next 100.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like, and I find their spirits very delicious. So I hope you enjoyed it. Those guys are great.
Yummy.
And yummy. I love whiskey. And then I got to go to the Patreon party for the Roddenberry Patreon members.
See, now, there you go. So that's the thing, like, now we can talk about it. 3, 4, 5 weeks ago, we didn't want to just tell everybody because we didn't want to have...
Should I not have said anything?
No, you can say it now because here's the fun of it. Now you have all year to prep. Now you have all year to decide to join. Because what we didn't want to have happen is that we talk about it and then people say, you know what, I'm going to join Patreon at the last minute just so I can go to that party.
But it did turn into an all access party.
It did
after.
later. And it was so big, they actually moved to a bigger suite.
No way.
Cool.
Yeah. I left right before your speech purposefully.
Yeah, thank you for that. Just before it
walked out, and then there was an screen, and I went, I guess it's the time.
Yeah, you left, John Billingsley left. Great.
It was personal.
My friends just bailed. Yeah, I appreciate it. Well, okay. Co-workers, colleagues at that.
Sure.
Yeah.
Thanks for the job, John.
But that is one of the cool things that we do. Patreon.com/missionlog. There are all kinds of perks, but the greatest perk is being a member of our Discord community. And then those people throw this outstanding party. Last night's theme was Vic's Lounge. And Paul Harveth, where are you, good friend?
Paul and Michelle. He gave us coffee.
Oh, he gave us coffee. Sure. That's the kind of guy he is. He gave us coffee and then left. But Paul and Michelle went way above and beyond through this amazing party for us, for the Mission Log family, the Mission Log Discord.
John, before I ask you how your day was, I just want to check in with everybody. How pissed are we that there isn't coffee in hotel rooms anymore? Thank you. Living in where we accept this, folks. So bad.
It's inhuman.
It's so bad.
They close Starbucks in the hallway at Ikema.
I don't know how bad your foot traffic has to be, but you cannot open a Starbucks at a hotel. Anyway, how was your day?
We're gonna get kicked out of the restaurant. I love
it. I will come to my morals and okay.
Yeah.
How was your day?
My day was great. So did the science panel right after that, which we recorded and we will be releasing as a supplemental show. Cannot wait for that. It was a lot of fun. I co-hosted with Alex 6 Degrees of Gene Roddenberry. We'll be co-hosting that today.
Potentially with a special guest from Discovery.
Yes. Discovery, never heard of it.
The other half of, we can't say it. The other half of my thing hosting today, we may have a special guest. That's it.
So stick around because 6 Degrees is a great game. We'll put that up on the board in a moment. What else did I do? Things.
Yeah, a bunch of things.
Well, the big highlight was the whiskey tasting. That was great because Norman is quite the expert and he guided us through a tasting. And just a reminder to everybody, go check out Star Trek Wines and Spirits. They are very generous to us. They help keep this thing going, really raise the level of fun for us. We didn't get tickets to the wine tasting tonight. Yes, I apologize. But still go check them out.
Yeah, that's how it just goes to show how good the wine is.
Yeah. You still have an opportunity to get show specials bottles, and it's great.
Norm, what are the notes on the whiskey? What did the nose of the whiskey have?
So since it was a rye whiskey, so we have notes of like caramel, vanilla, a little bit of spice. Maple.
Okay. Maple. Well, I was asking Norm, but
this is a group project. This is the morning show, so everyone can participate.
Yeah, sure. No, sorry,
it was delicious. If you haven't tried it, try it if you can.
Yeah.
Buy it, please,
I
because
just
it's
live
fantastic.
vicariously through you, and I actually prefer maple, so to be fair.
They only have a handful of bottles left and just a handful of slots left for the big tasting tomorrow night.
Big tasting, that's my nickname.
Oh, all right.
Let you think about that.
Let's go through what is coming up today, shall we? Let's put the schedule up.
Yeah, we're moving right along. We're yelling at an audience member.
No way to recover from that.
No, not really.
At 10:15 today, wow, we gotta get off stage fast. At 10:15 today, original series cosplay meetup. I love that throughout the day there are costume meetups in this room. So you see, oh look, this group of Klingons, this group of TNG, and then this morning, original series. We don't say what series, just the original series. Something, could be anything. 6 Degrees of Gene Roddenberry at 10:30. Have fun with that.
Good luck, Jessica.
Yeah, it'll be great. 6 Degrees is a lot of fun. We randomized a selection on Wikipedia. Could be anything, any topic at all. And you playing in the audience have to figure out how many links it takes to get back to the Gene Roddenberry Wikipedia entry. There were some really clever ones yesterday. Like we pulled a linguist working at a college in England, and Dr. Anne-Marie Siegel connected that to Leeds College, where Sir Patrick Stewart got an honorary doctorate, Sir Patrick Stewart on Next Gen, created by Gene Roddenberry. So that was the logic flow there. And here's the thing, you don't have to be fast, you just have to do it in fewer steps in your competition. So rushing might actually work against.
No one said you can't Google.
Yeah.
You know, there's all sorts of things. But anyway, Claire came up with that game. It sounds super fun.
Great.
I'll be hosting it deftly, I'm sure.
Yes, 11:15 mashup cosplay meetup. So clever mashup costumes to be here. 11:30 Lambda Quadrant with limitations of allegory. Fascinating. We'll have somebody from Lambda Quadrant on stage with us momentarily. We have the Alien cosplay meetup at 12:15. 12:30 doubleheader Redux with Rika French, astronomer Rika French. Do not miss that because that is such fascinating content. Rika will be talking, I think this one is about what's happening in astronomy and the JWST recent discoveries from that, or I could be completely mistaken. Likely. And it might be the one about the upcoming solar eclipses early next year. Yeah. Pardon?
Oh, that was the one yesterday?
Oh, no. She did that one on main stage and then coming back here to
talk about
it as well. So I got more of that. Yeah.
Chances are it'll be good.
Yeah. And if you didn't get the little viewing classes, you can get some.
Oh, that's cool. Those sold out last time. Yeah, big deal.
Yeah. Don't look directly at the sun. It's not a great idea. 1:30, Mission Log Prodigy presents. Okay, that is a conversation with Dan and Kevin Hageman, executive producers of Star Trek Prodigy, hosted by Norman Lau and Norman's co-host Charlotte Schmidt. And
can I interrupt you for a second?
Please interrupt me, my
because
friend.
I love Prodigy. I want to introduce you to members of Starflight.
Starflight
are here. Live logs and proper.
Live logs and proper. Nice. Oh my God. That looks so good. Yes.
How sweet.
Awesome. Seriously, that is an episode that made me choke up when I watched it.
Cancer. Throat cancer.
Too soon.
Yeah.
Too soon. Yes.
That's obviously a joke.
One of the all-time great episodes. 2:30 pregame fun with Bonnie Gordon. Bonnie does a half-hour jazz concert in here. She's so good and so lovely. So make sure you come see her. Then we will go DSI cosplay meetup 3:15. Then Wines That Rock, Star Trek Wines, Star Trek Spirits. We'll be back in here.
I will be here.
Yeah, to vamp a little bit, introduce Craig and Howard, talk about the wines that you'll be tasting. It is a ticketed event, but it is a free event. I believe they are all sold out, but if you visit their table, who knows, maybe something opened up. You can scan the QR code and at the very least get yourself on the list for the next. All right.
Wonderground.
Yes.
And then who doesn't know Chase Masterson?
Yes. 6 o'clock. Chase Masterson doing her concert in here. Don't miss it.
So let's talk about scavenger hunt real quick. Should we, or are we doing that later?
We should, no, because we'll get the winners from yesterday's scavenger hunt at the end of the show. But today,
photos should be with you.
Yeah.
Yeah,
with you.
You win.
Not with you.
All photos should be you with.
Yeah.
Okay.
You
selfie day. You're saying selfie day. Okay, she's gonna take a knee, y'all.
Yeah.
I saw that recovery.
Selfie day. So the theme today is selfie day, and we need a picture of you with each of those.
Let me do this. I can
Go ahead.
read.
Do it.
I'm not truly I can't. A mural. Find a mural, put yourself in front of it.
Yeah.
In the Starbucks line. That shouldn't be that hard. Laying on the ground with a friend. Ooh.
Yeah.
Taking a double selfie, which means you take a selfie with someone, while someone takes a selfie of you and so you can team up with somebody.
Oh yeah.
I don't know. In a small space. Asking a question in the panel. Looking at merch in the vendor's room.
Very good.
Pointing at something and looking surprised with something around, so you can take my butt pictures. Or with a vehicle.
Yes.
You could visit one of the gentlemen in JJ over at the vendors. He has a very cool scooter that he built. But what is it called, Scott? It's basically he built his own enterprise, but it's like enterprise or something like that.
Right.
It's a vehicle.
Yeah.
Go see it and go buy his autographs. Very nice guy.
There are fabulous prizes at stake. You get to do this all day and then bring back your photos tomorrow to the morning show. Our esteemed panel of judges, meaning people. There we go. There's Alex and Crystal and Holly. I have been going through your photos. We will get
Holly, are you looking at photos too?
Yep. All right.
Very
we will
good.
get the winners of yesterday's scavenger hunt at the end of the show today.
Got all the photos from yesterday.
You got all 10?
Officially.
Okay, great. Yes, we got all 10. Great.
Congratulations.
Okay.
I think there are small prizes for getting one every day, then it is all together.
And like the big cumulative prize.
Yes.
Yeah, so even if you don't get them all, you just have to get more than the other person.
Gotta catch them.
All right. Nice done. All right, let's welcome our first
I need
guest.
someone else to bring guests.
Yeah, let's welcome our first guest. Jessica is somebody that you might know.
Hardly.
Probably. All right, let's welcome
Oh.
from Mission Log, the other show.
Yes, I can't say it. My co-host, Mike Richards.
Mike Richards.
Let's go. I've got it. Sort of. There we go.
Mission Log, the other show. Like,
Welcome, Mike Richards.
Great to be here.
First of all, please tell us about your t-shirt.
Oh, the t-shirt says,
Yes.
I checked with legal and it's okay, I'm 25% different. And I got this from,
Some of you got that.
I got this from the logbook, T Public School.
Yeah.
Which you can do a quick Google search and find that, it's got a number, and that comes from the logbook.com, which is our own Earl Green's.
Shout out
to Earl Green.
They contribute all of this funds remotely. Thank you, Earl. And a very clever gentleman.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
He is fantastic.
Yeah, he is. So I love that shirt. If you would like to have one, go visit the logbook at T Public. Mike, what have you been up to?
Well, I got in a couple of days ago, I think, although it was one long day, if I remember right.
Yeah, that was not great.
I was chatting with my wife at 2:30 local. She was boarding a flight at 5:30 in the morning. I was still up and she said, "Where did you sleep last night?" I go, "Last night. It's still today, baby." So,
Yeah, thanks, Rio.
that was fun. So that, and then yesterday, morning show, went around in here a lot. Yesterday's Science panel was excellent. Highlight of yesterday was the Roddenberry Patreon patrons party that I heard you mention there before. That was a lot of fun. Many people that you get to meet for the first time with common interests that all are here for the same reasons.
Like
Kind of espouse a certain philosophy.
Yeah, exactly. Now, speaking of that, espousing the Roddenberry philosophy, Seth created a show.
He did.
This is a lot like the show that Gene created a long time ago. Tribute, and sort of an honorary for that original show, right?
Inspired.
Inspired by, yeah, but lovingly inspired by.
Oh my gosh. Very
Yeah.
nice.
And you two host that show on our podcast network, but more importantly, we'll be hosting a lineup of those actors tomorrow on the main stage.
That is
Applause.
Give us a rundown who those actors are.
Penny Johnson-Gerald, Mark Jackson, Adrian Palicki, Scott Grimes, Jay Lee, and Peter Macon.
Very cool.
Nice. I didn't know there was going to be a quiz, but I think
I
that's all.
don't even know the answer to that, so good job. So Mike is the research man. He keeps us on outline. He knows everything, mostly gets it right, and I just show up.
So he does the work.
He does the work.
All right.
Oh, I'm fully acknowledging that.
Okay.
In public.
Now, the beauty of it is I cannot wait to see the both of you not ask questions about the show.
How dare you?
I cannot wait for that.
You're cursing us.
Yes.
Well, you know, and I do know that it's such a strange strange new year that we're doing with panels, being able to have this convention and have the actors show up. And you know, Michelle Hurd will be here later today, and she is the one that arranged for the carve out for actors to be able to do these panels and fan conventions. So that's huge, but it is quite serious. I mean, it is their careers, it is their reputation as SAG members, so that they're not, you know, sort of crossing that virtual picket line, if you will, talking about or promoting struck work. And it is very important for us to honor that and respect that, and not ask them questions that they don't feel comfortable answering. Yeah. So we are going to chat about their interests and their passion projects.
Relationships.
And what was it like to be married to Scott Grimes?
No.
What was it like to be married to Adrian Palicki?
No.
Don't go there.
I would like to know the answer to that question.
No. I honestly wish you could, but I please hope you don't.
We'll see how it goes.
I'm trying to find a way to insinuate that that's what I'm trying to drive at, but holy moly. That's a great idea.
So in the passion projects, and you know, Jay Lee is an accomplished musician. Scott Grimes' band is going to be playing at the Gala on Saturday night. These people have worked together before. Penny worked on 24 with John Cassar as the director. So we're gonna have so much to talk about other than the show in particular, because these people are so interesting and just so fun, and they love each other so much. Jessica and I went to the premiere for season 3 of the show, and we got to meet and see these people interact with each other, and it was just like the affection and the mutual respect was there. And
I think that's true for most of Seth's shows as well too.
Yeah.
He works with the same people. He brought in people from the show that we all are here to talk about because he loved that show, was a part of one of those shows. Jesus. And I think he loves to bring in the same people because he enjoys working with them. So that's part of the culture they create. And so it's not surprising that we get to be a part of that, I think. Because
and
they all work the same way.
Yeah, and they all talk about what a great facilitator of talent he is. That he said, we'll start off with a vision, and then he communicates it.
And lets the talented people do the job.
Gets the better ideas from people, and then runs with those, and then kind of moves on to the next project. And that whole thing just kind of steamrolls and gets momentum.
Now, Mike, very quickly before we bring out our next guest, I would love for you to tell the sort of very short path that got you here. Because as I recall, what was it, 2 years ago, that you just decided on a whim, I'm going to fly to Vegas.
So I'm very, I think if I have a talent, it's identifying and latching on to people that I consider to be worthy role models. And about 5 years ago, I started listening to Mission Log. First episode I heard was a supplemental called Star Trek Saves Life. And it was John Champion and the guys from
Trekkies, and Bill.
And I was so touched by that story that I wanted to keep listening, and I got into Mission Log about 6 years late and got caught up by about 20. So I started listening in 2018, got caught up in 2021, and joined the Mission Log, became a Mission Log patron through patreon.com/missionlog. And that gave me an opportunity to chat with you online and our video chats and Norman. And that got me to come out here to this panel, and you and I started talking about expand. You had always joked that you could do Mission Log in any format. Yeah. Right. Or excuse me, apply that format to any show. Whether it be the Love Boat, moonlighting.
Love those
Jack,
words.
the Night
Love
Stalker.
those words. Okay.
In fact, in Lido Deck, there's also already an archived
Yes,
episode
200
for that.
episodes.
So I said, what if we followed the people that worked on Star Trek out to do other things? At the time, my wife, Tiffany, front row, and I were watching The Dead Zone, which was a Sean Piller, Michael Piller production. Joe Manosky was doing some production work and some writing on it also, and you can see the Star Trek DNA. And my initial idea was, what if we followed those people out into the industry to see if Gene's philosophy sort of spread out like that? And that was kind of it. I think that was my quick elevator pitch to you. Yeah. And then a couple of months later, John asked me to come on board for Mission Live the Orville with Jessica, and I think we're a perfect combination because our Venn diagrams have almost no overlap, other than the respect that we have for each other.
Like the human, and it ends there.
No, she is dynamic and vibrant and smart and adaptive. And I think my career as an airline pilot, I think about things in terms of, leadership and decision making and risk management and all that buzzkill stuff that John was talking about later, to me yesterday on the science panel. So John paired us up together and we started doing the show. Somewhere along the line, Seth MacFarlane found our show on YouTube and started sharing it. We invited him on the show. He came. Then he invited Jessica and I to go to the premiere of season 3. Went out for drinks a couple times. Went to his birthday party. Went to his Christmas party.
You did?
And we were invited for a variety of reasons. But we went to the Christmas party, 3 of us. And
ever since.
And when we found out the panel was going to be taking place at STLV, we reached out to Seth's publicist and asked if Jessica and I could host it. And through a variety of industry contacts that Seth's publicist, Cassie Brewer, had, we're here hosting the panel tomorrow.
And it was such a breeze. It was so easy to get from point A to point B.
It was effortless. It was just, I just kind of
Like
willed
flying.
it into it.
Thank you. I very much look forward to that. I'm going to bring out our next guest because
that's why I hear you hum the hustle here now.
Oh, just wait. All right, it is time to learn some Klingon. All right, it's time for Callie's Klingon Corner. Let's welcome out Callie Wright.
We're gonna do it as Klingon Beach. There we go. Yeah.
All right.
Welcome. We appreciate it.
Welcome, Callie.
Santa Bob.
I'm trying to get my life together over here.
Tell us about the costume today.
I'm a Iraqi from Lower Decks, so watch out. I'm coming for all of your crystals.
Yes. Awesome.
No, it's mad.
You were so kind to come here yesterday, teach the little Klingon actor and writer, and how we support the strike. What do you have for us today?
So, if you came to the Land of Conquer yesterday, one of the points of discussion was how it is kind of terrifying to be a queer or trans person in this country right now. And there's this whole thing about don't say gay or whatever, right? So I felt like this morning I would teach you all how to say gay.
Love this.
Right on.
Yeah.
I
Right
love
on.
it.
Hey.
Yeah.
Hey
So-
Bob, I'm Klingon. I love this so much.
Do we have the slide?
Yeah, let's do a slide.
Yep. There we go.
Wonderful. So, Kohleng heb abstractief et pool, dagjaaj mehen, shabojmo.
Got all that right?
Right.
Okay.
Understood? We're all on the same
Yes.
page?
That was one word.
All right. We're going to learn an important cultural term. All right. So the word is char-engan. Char-engan. And important to point out that this is a colloquialism. It's not an officially canon Klingon word. And there's much discussion about the lack of queer vocabulary in Klingon.
Uh-huh.
And Mark Ogren, the gem that he is, explained that part of the reason for that is because if you're not a member of a community, you don't want to try to put words and concepts in someone else's mouth. And so he kind of endorsed the idea that, like, if there are Klingon speakers that want to come up with words that work for that, then like that is a rad thing to do. We have precedent for that. There's a verb for to be Jewish. which is Yid.
Okay.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
To be Jewish.
Yeah, and it's not an official Klingon canon word, but if you're among Klingon speakers and you use it, generally you're understood.
It truly makes it a living language in that way as well.
And so there's a funny story behind this word. So Khar-e means rainbow, and Gan means denizen of or inhabitant of. So like Terra is earth, Terra-gan, denizen of earth, right? Romulush Gan, right? So two friends of mine, Deshu and Arha, were at a gay bar in Chicago speaking Klingon as one does. And they were discussing about how all of the cool queer spots in the city had shut down and how sad that was. But Arha kept having to stop and be like, how do I describe this in Klingon? Because like the bit is like there aren't that many of us. So when we're around each other, we want to speak Klingon. And like the language doesn't feel complete if you can't talk about the things that you are, right? And I think this was in 2018. We had just gotten the word for rainbow. And Arha looks over the bar and sees the rainbow flag. And they argue about who said it first. But someone just said, Khor-engan. So yeah, denizen of the rainbow. The idea being, if you think about Klingons coming to Earth and they observe groups of people gathering under these colorful flags, they might rightly think like, oh, these must be the rainbow people.
I just want denizen of rainbow to catch on. Like that just sounds cool. That sounds so cool anyway. So that's fantastic. And then do you have a sentence?
I do have an example.
Okay.
Khor-engan ma judge.
Fantastic. All right, everybody has to try it together.
But hang on, we're gonna do a little bit of
we're gonna do it. Okay, sorry.
I don't want to. Here's all the things. Go.
Yeah.
So obviously this is a play on the term from Discovery, Klingon ma judge, remain Klingon. The literal translation of that phrase is actually "We are Klingon, may it continue."
Awesome.
And what's really interesting about it is that ta actually has an implication that doesn't necessarily come across in the direct translation because it's to continue, to go on, or to endure. So it has like a real existential thing, which is why the translation is remain Klingon instead of may it continue, because it better translates the intent of the phrase.
It's almost like a prayer.
Right. Yeah. So the capital H.
My breath, morning.
Right. It's a sound we all make one time or another, right? And then we see the NG there, right? This is one that trips folks up. The NG sound, if English is your first language, this is a sound that is very familiar, but we're used to having it at the end of words instead of the beginning. So when you put it at the beginning of a word, it sounds really weird, but it is just how you say it in English. Okay. And then, as discussed yesterday, the apostrophe in Klingon is actually a letter. It's not just punctuation, and it's a glottal stop. So when you see one of those, you're supposed to stop the sound coming out of your throat very quickly. So, Khor-engan.
Khor-engan.
Okay.
All right, so let's go syllable by syllable. Khar. Khor-engan. Ta. Ma. So I'm gonna look at my slide. Ma. Ta. Judge. All right, all together. You ready? Khor-engan. Ma. Ta. Judge.
Bravo.
Okay.
We're so queer.
Applause.
Now we're gonna do it one more time. I'm gonna get a video up on stage.
Yes.
All right, we ready? 1, 2, 3.
Khor-engan ma judge.
Bravo. Applause.
You denizen of rainbow people. I love it so much. So clever, so beautiful.
Tell us very quickly, and we'll bring out our next guest. What is on your panel today?
Yeah, so today for the Lambda Quadrant panel at 11:30, we're going to be talking about the limitations of allegory. So a lot of what Star Trek has given us up until recently has been hidden behind allegory or metaphor. And it's like, these are the gay people, but we can't say that they're gay because the suits won't let us, that kind of thing. And in its time, it was boundary pushing, but obviously it has its limitations. And so we're going to talk about some of those things and some of the examples and why they're great, but also sometimes fall short.
Excellent.
Love that.
Thank you. All right.
Thank you so much.
Well, let us welcome out our next guest.
Give Bob a second to cue it up.
All right. Yeah. Okay. We're ready. We're ready. Okay. Excellent. Yeah. I see the thumbs up to talk to us today about Trektivism. Heather Barker.
Let's go. Shannon.
Excellent.
On order from the win.
That's so welcome, Heather. Tell us very quickly what got you here, because we've been involved in many areas of fandom and now part of what we do at Mission Log.
It's been a long road.
Getting from there to right here. Yes. Oh,
Yes, straight on. So
Straight on.
there's no condenser.
Okay, all right. Wow. So this is my 13th.
13. Very cool. 13
nice.
years.
How about-
I just started coming to get a photo op and all that fun stuff. And I kept returning, and I got involved with adminning a Facebook convention group, the Star Trek Convention Experiences, which helps foster community when we're not at the convention. We keep the convention going live. And then I started podcasting. So I started podcasting about STLP. That's the Shore Leave podcast, which is now co-hosted by my friends Marina and Jesse. And I just kept at the podcasting until it eventually led me to Mission Log Live. And now I am here and continuing to boldly go.
Excellent. Now, that's something that when we're going to talk about Trectivism. One of the themes that is pervasive in Mission Log, and Mike and Jessica, you talk about that, finding those themes in any number of shows, but like the Orville, whatever it is that we're applying that method of analysis to. Heather, Trectivism is something that takes that ideal, the Gene Roddenberry vision, and says, okay, entertainment is fine, but how do we take those ideals and express them in real life? So you were part of a panel on Sunday called Trectivism. Give us the outline of what that's about.
So our panel this year, it is the idea of Trectivism, which is applying Star Trek's moral core values to foster community and bring about social change. And this year we are calling the panel Federation of Changemakers, specifically because we are trying to engage you to start to do the work that gets us to Star Trek. I think for so many people, they're focused on seeing that vision and liking that vision of the future, but we need to do the work ourselves to get to that vision if we want to see it. So
Literally be the change.
yeah, we must be the change. And so we are hoping that by having these conversations, our panel Sunday has John Billingsley, and he represents the Food Coalition. He does a lot of wonderful work there. Matthew Simone, who has founded Esther's Echo. And I wish he was here to talk about that a little bit more. We have workers' rights attorney on Cobb, who can hopefully talk a little bit about like strikes. Strikes are so important right now. And then I had created a program called Fans Give Back, which is a kind of pay it forward fan initiative is what I've been calling it, because it was basically relying on mutual aided crowdfunding to help fans that don't have access to be able to come to conventions, to even go to a store and buy a Star Trek t-shirt or pay to watch Star Trek online. I crowdfunded, so we were able to give those people access. And I think it was like over 100 people that were able to watch CBS. It was when it was CBS All Access and not the other. But that's been really wonderful. We've done 2 panels now. We did a panel in Chicago, Mission Chicago, and then we did one here last year to a very fun room. And had people standing up at the end saying, what can we do? How can we get involved? And so our goal is to keep these conversations going and then eventually have a way to say, here's a really great organization. This is where you can go to talk to them and get involved and start doing the work that we all really need to do to get to that vision.
I think there are a lot of people who are aware that there are Trek celebrities that are involved in their own causes. So you mentioned John Billingsley, huge supporter of Hollywood Food Coalition, along with his wife, Connie Friedrichs, and then David Livingston, Star Trek director, a big part of that as well. Cable crew, very associated with Alzheimer's awareness. Jonathan Frakes, Armin Shimmerman, Kitty Sweeney, very involved with PanCan for pancreatic cancer research and support. But I think what a lot of people aren't aware of is outside of that, there are so many opportunities for us as fans to also be a part of that, or maybe make changes in very small ways that, like you just said, affect another fan. So, yeah.
Yeah, I started to give back because the community literally saved my life in a very dark time. And I was like, how can I repay them? It's not something that I could do financially. And I'm just a fan. Like, yes, I might do podcasts and I might, run a Facebook group and everything else, but I'm not a celebrity. I'm just a person who wants to create change in the world and do good things. And you don't have to have any notability to do that change. You just get involved. You make the first step to find out where to put your time, where to put your energy, and to do something that you're passionate about.
Yeah, I think the key there is talking about small things too, right? Like you were the one that brought the post the new meetup last year, right? Yeah. Okay, so this is a story that I have to tell because it's one of the most wholesome things I've seen in my life. So newbie solo traveler meetup. So folks who are either new to the con or there by themselves. And I get to the bar and there are giant bins full of Star Trek toys that Heather brought. And it was literally just a way to make people smile and feel good and like have them leave. Maybe I don't have a ton of money to spend in the vendor's room, but somebody just gave me the Star Trek action figure. And the looks on people's faces, like I'm sure the folks who got those will remember that forever, right? And I think we often get caught up in like we have to have millions of dollars to give and all that sort of stuff. And like sometimes you can just give somebody an action figure and make their day, and like that super matters.
Yeah, and
applause.
What I found is that a lot of people who didn't have access to toys or t-shirts were international. And sadly, I feel like international fans are still kind of left behind. And so what I'm trying to do is talk about those small things and how you're making a connection with somebody. I think that connection is so important because that helps empower you to get involved because you know you're not alone. You know that you can ask for help. And that's what this convention is about, especially because it's, it is what it is. It's us. It's the community you're building. Yeah. There's one of the things that's hardest for people, especially the introverts, who are like, I just want to talk to people, but I don't know how. So when you have someone who helps to bridge that gap and give, like, you can be friends with that person now just because you help them up. We all need help at different times. So it's a beautiful thing to continue to foster this wonderful community that we're all a part of.
Heather, when and where is Trek the Vision panel?
Trek the Vision panel is on Sunday at 3:30 in the DeForest Kelly Theater.
Wonderful. And where can people, either should they follow you or follow certain pages to continue that conversation after the panel?
So you're welcome to follow me I'm on Twitter under @LetFaith, but look up trekdivism.org and keep an eye on that page.
Yeah.
What I will say right now.
There are things brewing. Yeah.
There are things brewing. Come to the panel. You might be talking about something.
Yes. Mike, you had a comment?
Just if anybody feels like they're alone in this room, you are not. This is such a wonderful community because of people just like Heather Barker, who I was impressed with from the first time I saw her on Mission Log Live, talking about Strange New World Season 1, just our own mental health, the stress and the anxiety that just normal life has. And anybody feels like they're out there alone, you're not.
Applause for that. All right. It looks like we are nearly at the end of our show, and it is an opportune time to welcome our judge or judges for the scavenger hunt to let us know who won and how. Oh, no, wait. Oh, thank you.
Hi.
All right.
Okay, so
How many people participated in this?
A lot.
yeah,
Yeah.
like a dozen.
Good on you.
Okay, so we had three entrants. Yeah,
All 10.
all 10.
Nice.
So we're gonna do a
Okay.
tiebreaker. So I need Doc, Winnie, and Melissa to come up here.
Let's go. Let's
Right.
go. Because rest of the days, you might.
Oh, yeah.
Right, so
Absolutely.
we're doing daily prizes, which is a poster. But everything is cumulative, so even like keep playing and you guys can start even today. Because at the end of the week, whoever has the most points cumulatively gets a word on.
Ooh.
Okay, so one of these balls has,
Speaking of,
one of these balls has a marking on it, and I need you guys to look the other way and pretend it's. Come on,
grab the balls,
grab the balls,
not all the balls,
just one.
Or two.
that's what he said. No, it doesn't.
I could have made my Klingon language lesson much more special.
Now, who has the ball with the star on it? Ah!
But you still need those two balls.
So yeah, you guys also like keep playing. If you guys didn't play yesterday,
But we do have a winner.
we do. Yeah.
Yes.
Nice.
You get the Dusty Bell 30th anniversary TNT poster set, limited edition, 1701. Enjoy. Congratulations.
Holly.
Thank you, Holly. Well done.
So yeah, tomorrow, first thing before our show, if you can take all those pictures, I would like to recommend that list gets shown again, so you can take a screenshot of it. And be sure to talk to either Alex, Holly, or Crystal and let them know you're winning.
And if you are, let's show the list again on screen. If
Thank
you can.
you
There we
so
go.
much. Take a
And
screenshot.
if you also want to look for that, follow at Roddenberry Official on Twitter, follow at Roddenberry on Twitter. No, sorry, at Roddenberry Official on Instagram, at Roddenberry on Twitter or X, whatever the hell that is. And that will be posted there as well.
And now it's time for the original series cosplay meetup.
It is time, yeah. So TOS cosplayers who are in the right place. Ooh,
Oh
look
my
at that.
goodness.
That is the grand prize, the Horgon. Thank you, Holly.
Holly is not part of that prize. But stick around also for the 6th grade celebration of
Sister Jean Roddenberry, and you will be fabulous with it.
God.
All right. Thank you, everybody. We'll see you tomorrow. Need some applause, everyone.
Marmok and Gelada to Nagra.
This is a Roddenberry podcast. For more great podcasts, visit podcast.roddenberry.com.